This video is part one of a multi-part series on building Web3 games with thirdweb's Unity SDK. We'll be creating a Unity game with burn to redeem mechanics, where users burn one NFT to claim a different NFT. By the end, you'll learn how to create an NFT collection with custom logic and solidity using ContractKit, deploy your contract to the blockchain, and allow players to claim NFTs from within a Unity game. Here in part one, I'll be introducing you to the Unity SDK so you can start creating the next wave of Web3 games. I'll show you how to create a Unity project and install the SDK, allow users to connect their wallets to your game, and read data from and write transactions to smart contracts from C# scripts. If this is your first time ever using Unity, you'll need to make sure you download and install the Unity Hub and Unity Editor. A link to the installation and setup wizard for that will be in the description. For simplicity, I'll be using Visual Studio Code for this tutorial. If you'll be using this editor as well, I'd recommend checking out the .NET and Visual Studio Code guide, which will be linked in the description as well for some helpful extensions and IntelliSense support. With that, let's get started building this game.
Before we get into the video, currently 70% of you amazing people who watch our videos are not subscribed to our channel. So if you do find value and you do enjoy these videos, do us a small favor, hit that subscribe button, join the 30%.
All right, so opening up the Unity Hub here, we're going to select New Project up here at the top. And then we're going to come to Core and choose the 3D Core option for our new project template here. We'll hit Create Project, and it's going to take a minute to get this built for us. So we'll wait for that. Okay, and now we can see it's popped up a window here, a Unity window with our little blank project ready to go for us. So let's head over and import the thirdweb SDK so we can get started with adding some Web3 functionality to this right away. So this is the releases page on GitHub, and we're going to come down and download the Unity package for the latest SDK version. Usually you'll just want to use their latest release, and we'll open this up and go ahead and leave everything checked here, and we'll click import and give this a second to load up. All right, so now we've got some little folders here that it's added for us, a little demo project. If we open that up, let's just zoom out here. We can see a little screen with some buttons here that they've already added for us. If we come over, we can see we've got MetaMask Connect and some different token buttons and mint buttons and stuff that's pre-added here for us in the SDK. So let's open this up and just look at what the code actually looks like. So this is a C# file here, and we can see the scripts for all these different buttons that came out of the box with the SDK. So we've got our start script up here at the top. We've got MetaMask and Coinbase wallet, different Web3 wallet connections, and then we've got functions both for getting information from smart contracts as well as write transactions with minting different types of tokens and stuff. So all this comes ready for us to check out and use. So we can customize this however we want. We'll come back over here to the Unity game, and we're going to go up and see if we can build this. So we'll click File, Build Settings, and then we're going to select the WebGL platform option. Currently, the built-in Unity preview isn't supported out of the box, so we do need to run this in the browser. And then we'll go to the left-hand corner and click Player Settings, and we'll open this up, and then we'll come down to renderer and resolution and presentation, and we're going to change this to thirdweb, this setting here. And then in my case, I do need to change this auto graphics API setting as well to just be disabled, and you may need to do that as well. You may not to get it to build, just depending on your machine and your configuration. So I'm going to make that disabled. So then we can close player settings, and then we'll come add open scenes, this button here in the build settings, and just make sure that the thirdweb demo is selected. So we can go ahead and build and run this. I'll just call it build, and we will let this build for a second, and here we go. Now we have in the browser, we can see our project that we just saw in Unity with all these different buttons. that came out of the box ready to go. So if I click mint here, it's going to fail because I haven't connected anything yet. So let's see if I can just connect my wallet real quick. Click on MetaMask, and I'll just sign in here. Next, and it's going to switch me to the Gorley testnet. Nice, and now we can see my wallet address right here. I have a Web3 wallet connected to this Unity game, and that was super easy to do just out of the box with what they give us in this SDK. Now we're going to see if we can actually deploy this game to the web. So we'll come back over and go back into our player settings down at the bottom left-hand corner. And this time we're going to change the publishing settings, and we're going to go to compression format, and we're going to disable that setting right there. And that's the only thing that we should need to change in order to be ready to deploy this. So we'll close that, make sure it's still selected thirdweb demo, and then we'll just go ahead and build and run it again. So we have a fresh build of the game. I'll just replace the folder there and let this run. And there we go. We can see it built again. We have a new instance of our game running here. All right, I'm going to open up the terminal, and I'm inside the My Project folder where I'm storing this game, and I'm just going to cd into the build directory here and run this command npx thirdweb at latest space upload space dot. And this command is going to build our upload our build directory to HTML, and it's going to print out a link for us of where our app is deployed. So we'll give this a minute to run. Here we go. Now we can see the IPFS URI, and then we have a URL right here where we can actually see the game deployed. So let's just go out to this URL, and things usually do take a while to load on IPFS, but here it is. Eventually you will see the game pops up here, and that's it. That's all it takes to get up and running and deployed with the thirdweb Unity SDK. That's it for part 1. We successfully installed the thirdweb SDK in a new Unity project and deployed it to IPFS. We'll pick back up where we left off and cover deploying your own NFT smart contract and minting your own NFTs, creating a snapshot of wallet addresses and airdropping access key NFTs to them, and writing a custom burn to mint smart contract, allowing players holding the access keys to claim avatar NFTs from within a Unity game. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to need is an actual access key NFT collection. So first, let's head over to the thirdweb dashboard and connect our wallet. And now we are going to click deploy new contract, and we're going to see a list of different contract templates. There we go. A list of different contract templates that thirdweb has that we can choose from to build off of that are already ready to go. So they've got DAOs, they've got staking, airdrops, marketplaces, pretty much like anything you could ever need. We're going to choose this 1155, ERC 1155 edition drop. And there's a little bit of information here about that contract, and we'll go ahead and click on deploy now. So from here, we're going to name this contract. So I'm going to call this Access Keys NFT contract. We're going to upload a picture. I'm going to use a key for this. Naturally, we'll make the symbol keys and give it a description for Access Key NFTs to my game. Cool. So we'll leave our wallet address in here as the primary sale recipient, and you could add yourself as a recipient for royalties and things like that if you wanted to add more in the advanced configuration. We're on the Gorley testnet, so we'll go ahead and deploy this and confirm in our wallet here and wait for this. Success. Okay, our smart contract has been deployed. So now all we need to do is we can see our picture here that we chose and all the information about this contract, and it's already deployed. So we'll go over to the NFTs tab, and we're going to go ahead and mint some actual access key NFTs. So we'll click on mint here, and I'm just going to call this access key NFT. And I'm going to just use this same key picture here just for clarity. And we'll fill out the information for the NFTs that we want to create. I'm going to give it an initial supply of 3 of these access keys NFTs just for our example here. And then once again, you could add traits if you wanted to give a specific background color or anything like that to your NFTs, you could do that. So I'm going to go ahead and mint these. Perfect. Now we can see our NFTs have been minted. We have an initial supply of 3. So our NFTs are ready to be airdropped. So I'm going to come over to the airdrop click upload addresses, and we can see this is ready for a CSV file here. So I actually have a little file, airdrop.csv, and we can see there's 2 columns in here, an address column and a quantity column. This is a template that thirdweb gives you that you can start from to create this CSV file. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in my own addresses here where they have the default template example. And then we're going to separate with a comma and put the number of NFTs that we want to airdrop to each of those addresses. So I'm going to do 2 to the first address and 1 to the other address. We'll go ahead and save this file. And now we're going to just drop it right in here. Let's see. Airdrop. There we go. We'll select that. And now we can see we've got the addresses that we put into the CSV file along with the quantities that we specified for each one. And now we have the ability to click this airdrop button here. And we will go ahead and click that. And then we'll just confirm in MetaMask here that we want to go ahead and do this airdrop. And that may take a minute, but when it succeeds, we're all good there. That's all it takes. We've got our access key NFT set up and airdropped to our snapshot of wallet. So if we want to double check that this worked, we can actually come over to the Explorer tab and come over, find the balance of function here. And I'll just go ahead and paste in my address here again and run this, and we can see I have 1 NFT airdrop to this address. So let's come over to our terminal now, and we're ready to move on to the next step. We need to create the burn to mint smart contract, which is going to be the collection of ERC 1155 NFTs that can be claimed, but only if the user owns an access key NFT. So I'm going to use the command npx thirdweb at latest create -- contract. Oops, -- there we go, contract. And run this command, and this is going to kickstart a CLI where we can answer some questions to get a scaffold, a smart contract scaffold ready to go for this project. So we're going to say the project name is burn to earn, and we're going to use a hard hat configuration for our editor, and we'll just again call the smart contract also burn to earn. This is going to be ERC 1155, and we're going to choose Lazy Mint here for the extension that we want to add on. All right, so we'll let this build, and when that finishes, we will CD into our burn to earn project that we just created. And then we'll go ahead, I'll just do code space dot to open up VS Code, and we will see what we've got here in our newly created project. So if we take a look, make this a little bit bigger here, there we go. All right, if we take a look in this contracts folder here, we can see we have a burn-to-earn.sol file that we just created. So we're importing the ERC 1155 Lazy Mint smart contract from Contract Kit. And because we're inheriting from this contract inside of our contract, we're going to be able to access all of that base contracts functionality inside of this one. So the first thing we're going to need, adding some custom logic here, is we want only users who hold an access key NFT to be able to mint this contract. So we're going to need to create a verify claim function that's going to be run before a wallet tries to claim an NFT from our contract. So if this function fails, then the user isn't going to be allowed to claim an NFT. So this is a function that exists in the base contract. I'll go ahead and show that on the screen. By default, that allows any wallet address to claim an NFT. So we're going to go ahead and add the override keyword to override the function in the base contract with our custom logic to prevent that. And we're going to need to create a variable to store our access key collection. So I'm going to initialize that here in the constructor. So type address, access keys, collection. All right, and then down in our function, we're going to go ahead and use the balance of method on the contract to make sure that they own the access key NFT. So we'll say access keys collection dot balance of. We're going to pass in the address, the ID, and it has to have a balance. Or else we're going to say this is rejected because the claimer does not have an access key. The next thing that we'll need to do is actually implement the burn functionality. So we're once again going to override a function, transfer tokens on claim, from the base contract. And this, importantly, is going to run after the verify claim function has run. So if we look, again, I'll show the source code of the base contract. It's important to note the order that those functions occur. So we're going to pass in here the receiver address, the token ID, and the quantity, and we're going to again give this the override keyword because we're overriding the base contract. So now we're going to use the .burn method on our access keys collection, and it's going to be burned from the receiver address, and we'll pass in again the ID, and the amount to burn is going to be the quantity that they're claiming. And then we're going to use a keyword here called super to access that function in the base contract and pass in the arguments. And then just looking at this, this is actually not going to run because we do need to initialize our access key collection, our access keys collection here at the top with ERC 1155 lazy mint type. All right, so this is our full contract. This looks pretty good. Now we can go ahead and come back over to our terminal, and I'm going to put in the command npx thirdweb at latest deploy. There we go. And this is going to deploy our smart contract for us, and it's going to give us a link where we can look at this on the thirdweb dashboard. So we'll go ahead and open that up right here. We can see that we have our contract parameters right here. So we need to go ahead and fill in what we want to have, what we want to pass in during deployment specifically. So thirdweb gives us a nice interface to be able to just fill these in a GUI. So I'm going to call this pandas because by now you know that I like to use pandas for my test data in every project. We'll make it PNDS for the symbol. We're again just going to use our address as the royalty recipient, but we're going to put 0 in because I'm not going to worry about royalties for this project. So then we're going to need to grab the address of our actual access keys NFT contract. So we'll pull that window back over, and it's right up here at the top. We can just click this button to copy the address, and we will paste that in here. And then it's important to make sure that we are on the same network as the access key NFTs. So I'm going to select the Goerli testnet from this list because that's where we deployed the access key NFT collection to. So I need to just reconnect my wallet here quickly in this window, and then we're all ready, and I can go ahead and hit deploy now. And once again, we're going to confirm with MetaMask, and we're going to wait a little bit for this to finish, and then sign. There we go. And this might also take a second, but eventually success. Now we see in our thirdweb dashboard, we have a pandas ERC 1155 contract that's right here ready to go. So once again, I'm going to come over to the NFTs tab of the dashboard, and I'm going to upload some NFTs. I'll just do a single upload here to show you how it works. And I'm just going to mint a couple of these. This isn't really going to be that important because we're focused on the burn mechanic in this video more so than what these avatars look like. But obviously I'm using pandas. You can make whatever you want your game characters to be. You can mint different NFTs for whatever matches with your game. We'll say this panda is a powerful beast, and we'll go ahead and deploy mint this one, confirm, and there it is. And we're going to need to do this 2 more times, but I'll go ahead and speed up that process a little bit so that you don't have to watch that again. And there we go. We have powerful beast, extremely rare, and #1 cuddler. So if you get the extremely rare panda or the #1 cuddler, you have special abilities in the game. And if you get the powerful beast, then good for you. Okay, so again, not super important to what we're doing because we're focused on the burn aspect, but kind of fun. Okay, so back over in Unity, I'm going to come over to the canvas section, and I'm going to create within the connected section for what we want the users to do when their wallet's connected. I'm going to add a little UI component here for our NFT stuff. And I'm going to call this button 0 for now. And you can see, there we go, it added to our game canvas little button. So we'll come back over to the C# code that goes with our thirdweb SDK demo that we're seeing here in Unity. And I'm going to add that game object here in the code and set active to true. And then I'll just add it right up here at the top for clarity, but we're going to have our actual select panda to mint function right here. So when the user clicks this button, they're going to be able to mint an avatar for the game, and that avatar will go, that NFT will go to their wallet, and it will burn their access key NFT. So we need to access first the panda contract so that they can mint a panda. So we'll copy that contract address and paste it in right here. And then we are going to need to access the access key NFT contract. So, and using the thirdweb SDK, we can just grab these really easily. Just copy the address, and it's just sdk.getContract and paste the contract address right in there. And then we can call the methods on that contract. Now we actually need to grant approval for the contract to burn our NFTs first. So this is only if you're using burn to earn logic. If it's not required, if you're just going to do a claim from a pre-built drop contract. But here we actually need to set approval for all in order to grant approval for the contract to burn our NFTs. And then we're going to give the address of our pandas contract here. So we'll just paste that from right above and then set it to true. Okay, and then all we need to do is add the claim. So claim the panda NFT. So we'll just say .claim and the token ID and 1. And now that's pretty much all the changes we need to make in the code. Oh, I do need to make sure this is given a type of string though. Okay, so now we need to actually set it up so that the button click in our game triggers this function in our code. So the way that we're going to do that, it's going to load those changes for us. With the button selected, I'm going to scroll down here on the sidebar to where it says on click, and I'm going to click the little plus button, and I'm going to choose from this other little plus button. I'm going to choose the, actually let's make this bigger. There we go. I'm going to choose the thirdweb SDK from in the scene section where we have this thirdweb project scene. And then if I move this over a little bit so you can see, we actually have all the functions available from our code right over here. We can select from those functions. So I'm going to scroll down to our select panda to mint. And I'm going to choose that function so that this button is now tied to that action in our code. All right, we are almost there. And I'm going to give the token ID of 0 also in this input, so it gets passed in when this function is run. So we'll just hard code that for now. All right. Now at last, let's go ahead and build this. Make sure the thirdweb demo is still selected in our scenes to build. We'll just replace this build file here. Cool. Okay, and this will take a minute here to build with our new changes. And when that's done, here we go. We can see in localhost, we once again have our game canvas. So I'm going to connect my wallet with MetaMask. There we go. I can see my wallet address here. And now that my wallet's connected, I can see this little button displayed right here in the middle that we added. Very beautiful UX. I know, this is why I'm not a game developer. So if I click that button and confirm the transaction, I am ultimately going to see that this was successful. If we come out to the thirdweb dashboard, we can look and see here there's now a total supply of 2 for our access key NFTs. So we know that 1 NFT was successfully burned because there are now only 2 left in supply. So yay, it worked. The other way that we can test this is if we come over to events and we take a look here, we can see the transfer taking place from our wallet address to 0x000, which is the default null burn wallet. So there you have it. We successfully implemented a way for users to mint NFTs in our Unity game using burn to earn mechanics. I hope this helped get you thinking about ways you could use thirdweb's SDK in your own games, which are hopefully way better looking than mine. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in another video.
But if you folks did find this video helpful and you did find some value in it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell as well so you know when we post more videos and tutorials just like this. Don't forget to join our Discord if you haven't already. If you need help with anything or any support, you can drop your question down in our Discord and we're always there to help you out. So again, I hope you folks really enjoyed this video and we'll see you in the next video of this series.